Asmon just said you'd be mad for the recent U.S. assassination of an ISIS leader in Iraq. That's an insane statement. But cool, I guess. Yeah, we're doing. I love living in a world where I'm just getting straight up 2004 levels of Islamophobic animosity. But I doubt that he said that. It's probably another chatter who's just trying to drama farm. Twitch CEO explains how they deal with high-profile bans after Hasan's suspension. Oh damn, that's crazy. He did that. That's cool. Let me see. Isn't the reason you want Asmongold on stream with you just so you can get him banned again? You think I got him banned last time and not what he said on his stream? What? No. Do you think that I run Twitch? Like, do you think that I have like genuine power over Twitch? I mean, I just got banned recently. Was that like a fake ban? I really want to understand. I really want to understand where you're coming from with this. I do genuinely want to know, because like it's got to be some cool ass opinions. It's got to be some cool ass opinions up there. Please, 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 Mimic Queen, give me something good here, because I really do. I really do want to hear what your perspective is on this. Do I control the media? Is it me? Is that what you're thinking? Anyway, do we have a blast off meme chat? No. And also, the reason why I want to talk to Asmongold is pretty clear, like pretty open. I'm pretty open about it. I don't care about Asmongold doing like transmog competitions or even like reacting to political stuff in general with his own seasoning. That's great, right? I do, however, care about, like, you know, Asmongold doing right-wing propaganda, either deliberately or because he just doesn't have all the facts. And in that process, I've never not been charitable to Asmongold. I would still absolutely be charitable to Asmongold in a conversation, like in a direct conversation, you know what I mean? And I think that watching clips of one another is not going to give people the full scope of people's arguments. But what I don't understand is a lot of these people used to always say, oh, Hasan, you're like afraid of debates. You're too afraid of debates. I don't understand why you're so afraid of debates. And it's like, now they still say I'm afraid of debates while I'm trying to talk to Asmongold. So they have to like, like I saw something under Chris Cappy's post, because Chris Cappy was like talking about the new state of affairs of media on Twitter yesterday. Chris Cappy is a content creator on YouTube. You might have seen his stuff. Where he was like, back in the day, it used to be Tucker Carlson versus, you know, Bill O'Reilly, right? He says something like, back in the day, it used to be Tucker Carlson versus Bill O'Reilly. Here's the tweet. My generation had Jon Stewart versus Bill O'Reilly debates. This new generation has Asmongold versus Hasan proxy debates, commenting on each other's streams, the information age Cold War. And I said, I said I'd do it in person, to be fair. And there is like... This is the funniest response to that. This is what I saw in response to that. The Hasan system, the proven method for handling criticism: hide, ignores critics' content to obscure their argument, alter, drastically misrepresent their opposing view, strawman. Also, I look pretty hot in this, so thank you once again. My haters like making me look hot. Strawman, attack the misrepresentation by grouping critics with deplorables. Avoid, debate only weaker opponents, not the original person. Name call, label frustrated opposition is crazy or obsessed to discredit them. Now, what's really interesting about this is I think it's projection, but also it kind of fails because, like, there are a lot of right-wingers that I openly will say I want to debate, right? Like Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder, Charlie Kirk. And what is really funny about it is that this basically demonstrates how stupid you are. You have to be as a Marine Corps veteran, because this is me literally saying I would talk to Asmongold in person, and you're just like, nah, dude, I bet you're running away from him. Like, it makes no sense. But hey, thank you for keeping a sexy photo of me in your phone. That's nice. But anyway, let's get started on this. Twitch CEO explains how they deal with high-profile bans after Hasan's suspension. Twitch CEO has admitted it's tricky at times when it comes to banning streamers, and has also lifted the lid as to whether he has the power to suspend channels. Twitch bans have been a hot topic within the live streaming community. Streamers have called on Amazon-owned platform, blah, 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 blah. Speaking to Business Insider's Peter Kafka for his channel's podcast, Clancy revealed that some bans are tricky to do. On a VOD platform like YouTube, you can edit something or take something down. It's hard to sit there and talk for 6 hours straight and not step over the line, he said. It's 6 to 8 hours trying to make sure you don't step over the line. So it's the fact that sometimes people step over the line and you can't just edit it as you would on a VOD platform. I don't think it's contentious. It's just tricky for both them and us to make sure, look, we keep it within the guidelines. So we have to see when somebody steps over the line and do something to make sure they don't step over the line consistently. That's a pretty good approach to it, I think. Obviously, people will not take this seriously because they've already made up their minds on Dan Clancy specifically and also Twitch specifically. I will say, like, regardless of my criticisms of Twitch or my immediate criticisms of Dan Clancy, I think that, like, for example, I don't like that he streams so much. Okay? That's one thing that that's my own personal opinion. You might not agree with it, right? I'm not like the biggest fan of that because I feel like you're opening yourself up to a lot of attacks in general, right? And yet him doing streams, unironically, I think, allows him to get a better understanding of the product and the content creators themselves and like what they go through. Does that make sense? Like there are some issues as far as like the app, you know, the Twitch app is like kind of garbanzo and they're trying to fix it. But as a CEO, I think like Ford CEO also drives a Ford. No, it's Ford CEO literally does not drive a Ford exclusively any longer. He's now driving a Fangwang, I think. But yeah, as a CEO, it's still good to understand like the service that the platform is providing. For a hilarious example to be wrong about, what? The Twitch boss also noted that he personally does not decide on anyone's ban, be it hand one out or lift an existing suspension. We have a team that does that. It's not automated. I'll be aware of their decision for certain high-profile streamers, but it's not my decision because the whole point is to keep some degree of separation. That came off the back of being asked about Hasan's recent 24-hour ban. It also was revealed by Twitch streamer Amaranth that Clancy did, however, get a shadow ban on her channel lifted. So they asked him about me getting hit with the 24-hour one. At 6:58, the reporter says you were clearly not doing
support for this show comes from Smartsheet. Have you ever?
Yeah. Wow. We got guys. We clearly have shooters out there in the journalism. I do control the media. Okay.
You're watching on the biggest channels because those are the ones you've heard of, right? And on a big channel, it is the fact that chat flies by. The magic of Twitch is on the channels of like, there'll be somewhere between 200 and 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 people watching, 4,000. And chat doesn't fly by as fast then. Then you can really see chat, you recognize names. And the other thing is,
you're closer to being on a message board.
Yes. And also you're dropping in once, okay? Part of it is you come again and again. And the analogy I often use, now I'm playing to my own generation, is back to the TV show Cheers.
I'm familiar.
Where everyone knows your name. And you show up in a chat room that you go regularly, and everybody screams out your name if you haven't been there for a while and says, Norm, where you been?
Yep.
Right? And you feel like you belong and that they're happy to see
always
you.
Glad you
One of
came.
your biggest streamers, Hasan Piker, someone I'm familiar with. I've interviewed him. He's got a caustic edge to him.
Yep.
He was recently suspended on Twitch.
That's cool.
He was making
That's a cool way to, damn. He said, I got a caustic edge to me. I like that. Damn, journalism is not dead, folks. Wow. This guy, let's see what he says.
a point about healthcare. He was sort of extending a metaphor that involved killing Rick Scott, the U.S. Senator. He wasn't calling on people to kill Rick Scott. But he's making a metaphor. He was suspended. Apparently he's been suspended multiple times. First of all, how does that work? How do you get suspended at Twitch? Do you get...
Damn, I can't believe an adult in the media who I cannot believe that an adult journalist in the media who has spent a good deal of time studying communication, using language, covering the news, did not have the same exact attitude as like a Libs of TikTok or a Asmongold on this issue. But of course, those are the guys who are gay and woke and wrong, and the based patriots are the dudes who don't leave their homes with YouTube channels. And it's not just Asmongold. I'm talking about like the way that a lot of Americans approach this issue nowadays, and their media consumption is like, no, every single person that's a nerd is wrong. And you know, they're just like, they have a secret political perspective and they're woke, and that's why they're sheltering this person. Interesting. All right. Hamas Abi, renounce your citizenship. No, if U.S. is so bad. I'm good, man. Thank you, though. Thank you for the suggestion. Yeah, I'm just shocked that this journalist would actually report on what truly happened instead of immediately being like, well, this terrorist guy, well, this freaking terrorist Hasan, okay? I call him Hamas Abi. Some people call him Hasan Abi. I call him Hamas Abi. Why the f is he still on the platform? Or let alone in the United States of America? As a journalist for Business Insider, I say, get him out of here. As a matter of fact, get him all out of here. Are you actually surprised, though? You apologized and admitted the words were hyperbolic? No, I was never surprised for being banned. I'm just showing you that, like, people do understand the difference. Like, they're, especially adults. There are still adults out there. Because I think the more we look at just, like, right-wing commentary online and how much that has devolved throughout time, we get a false notion. That, or a false sense of reality that, like, everyone is incredibly stupid, right? And I don't think that's the case. I think that there are still intelligent people out there, and you can't like lose sight of that. You can't forget that there are normal humans out there who also look to like Elon Musk Sig Heiling and don't immediately rush to defend him. There are plenty of normal people who see that and go, oh, that's it. I'm done. I'm writing this guy off. There are normal people out there who are still intelligent, careful, considerate, maybe not like super knowledgeable on an issue, but don't immediately just like fly off in the most reactionary perspectives. That's what it is, right? We need to remember that. We need to remember that there are people like this in the media. There are people like this all around us. And I think I sometimes lose sight of that because I've read too much Asmongold comments. You know what I mean? Like Asmongold YouTube comment section. And I think when you stare into that darkness for an extended period of time, you end up developing a false interpretation of like what our fellow citizens are like. Not to say that there aren't truly people like that, and those numbers are growing, especially online, where there's just like an incredible amount. There's a definite like crisis of intellect, a crisis of critical thinking, a crisis of nuance in this country, for sure. But I do think that, you know, it's not as severe as we think it is. Living in a hate pit versus a hug box. Okay, this is seemingly
get involved when it's a high-profile person. Is this automated? How does that work? And how do you get reinstated?
Yeah. So first of all, they're indefinite. I'm not indefinite. They're for a given period of time. They're not indefinite.
It's sort of a timeout.
It's a timeout. It's a timeout. So think of it like that, right? And all it is try to make sure people stay within the guardrails, right? And so the idea, of course, is, you know, look, if someone goes outside the guardrails a little, give them a little bit of timeout. So then it's like, okay, I'm going to work hard to stay within, you know, the community guidelines. And we have a team that does that. It's not automated. You know, I'll be aware of their decisions for certain high profiles, but it's not my decision, because the whole point is to keep some degree of separation, right? Where they're trying to make what is a consistent decision on the platform.
And it seems like it's an ongoing theme for many of your big name folks, that they constantly are sort of, not constantly, but often are pushing the limits, getting in trouble, getting booted, getting reinstated. And then there also seems to be sometimes a question of, did the streamer say something? Was it one of his fans saying something? Was it someone off camera saying something? How do you?
Yeah, I think it's like Twitch still as a medium is somewhat new, right? And a lot of normies don't entertain the idea of like tuning in to a broadcast for like 6 to 8 hours a day. So they have no way of comprehending how you can easily manipulate language and take advantage of the nuances of any kind of statement, let alone political statements. That's pretty much it. It's just like it's very difficult. It's very difficult to fully understand what a person's perspective is when they're talking about political issues for 8 hours, 10 hours a day, and then you're just reading what they have to say through 12-second clips. It's just not. You're never going to understand a person's perspective that way. It's virtually impossible. And because people don't really know what this medium looks like in general, I think a lot of people get duped. I get duped, and I'm in this field. You know what I mean? I'm in the heart of this, and I still get duped sometimes.